The new Toyshop Throwdown event brings 3 troops, a spell, and an epic piece of equipment, so let's tell you everything you need to know. The event begins for Town Hall 6 and above players on December the 11th, lasting the entire month, but you'll be given a tutorial to start. Bad news, Chief. My cookies have gone bad. Our heroes are on a quest to take them down. Let's help. Raid villagers to collect cogs and fill my rocking reindeer. This is where you access the event. Every day you will be able to collect the cogs from there, and when you enter you'll be given a rundown of the event. Attacking in multiplayer to collect them. I will talk you through all of the temporary troops and then the toy medals you exchange for rewards in the trader shop, and I'll be going over all of those with you as well. Just by collecting these initial cogs though, you have enough to unlock the cookie, which is the strongest of the temporary troops. You progress through the event track by collecting cogs in multiplayer battles. These are randomly assigned to 3 different buildings, so they could be non-defensive buildings, they could be regular buildings, and as the event goes on, typically the amount of cogs within a building will scale up over. This means you can complete the event faster towards the end, but you wouldn't get as much time with the limited edition troops, and you will want to use them because they are powerful. I will personally be using the giant arrow to get these very quickly, but you could use lightning or Santa surprise spells as well. You will just gain these as you are regularly attacking though, obviously a 3-star, meaning that you had to have taken down all 3 of the buildings and got the maximum amount of cogs for that attack. It will require 16,000 to get to the end of the track, but in terms of the limited edition troops, you unlock the Ice Wizard at 1,000 points, the Santa's surprise spell at 2,000 points, and the Ram Rider at 3,000. We do have a video sponsor for this one, so I will cover the rest of the event details afterwards. Thank you to Go Muffin for sponsoring today's video. Go Muffin is a free fantasy MMORPG with idle gameplay designed specifically for mobile. This is open world with a relaxing leveling experience but thrilling dungeon fights, plus the ability to switch between manual and auto battle. 5 iconic classes are available which you can partner with a companion, and thanks to the build system, you can upgrade equipment to gain additional effects and enhance your combat power. You can even team up with your friends by joining a guild or taking part in the PvE dungeons, which includes a team of 4 or 6. This allows you to coordinate between classes or time your spell casting effectively to slay the dragon. As you're waiting for your friends, you can summon Melamons and skills, as the single player story quests and challenges have over 600 draws to obtain. Again, Go Muffin is available now, so check out the link in the description to start your fantasy adventure. Thanks again to Go Muffin for sponsoring today's video. Once you get to the end of the event track, you will unlock your rocking reindeer decoration, and you can begin to complete the bonus track. This will require another 21,000 cogs to complete, in which you can collect an extra 650 toy medals to spend in the trader shop. This means as a free-to-play player, you can earn 3,750 toy medals from completing the track, 5,000 shiny ore, and 400 glowy ore. And remember, all players can also gain the 30% training discount, which does stack on top of your gold pass discount. If you are purchasing the event pass though, remember you will get 1,000 bonus medals to get you started, which is enough to unlock the Ice Wizard, and you can support a creator beforehand by pressing the C and entering their code. My code is Judo, and it is very much appreciated. You can also purchase on the Supercell store to earn extra rewards. Once you've claimed everything from the event pass, if you've purchased, you will have 9,250 toy medals to spend in the trader shop, and there is a big difference this time around. Yes, we have the new epic piece of equipment, the Electro boots, but should you have missed some of the epic equipment previously, some of them are now available from this event. We've gave this feedback before, and I'd love to see this implemented into the regular Super Troop events when there isn't a new piece of equipment as well, so that free-to-play players could also catch up. The Electro boots is for the Royal Champion, so maybe you miss that if you are a lower Town Hall level player and opt for either the Gauntlet for the King, the Frozen Arrow for the Queen, or the Fireball for the Grand Warden. They all tend to be 1,500 gems in the trader shop, so should you go back to the Electro boots, you could always get that later. Needless to say though, even though you can get better gem conversion when you purchase the ore, over the equipment, I always just recommend the equipment because obviously the ore, you don't need to gem versus getting the equipment if you want it. Currently, that's the only way to get it. By the way, I would love to see equipment in the CWL shop as well. But for the Electro boots, that is 3,100 medals. I will be getting that as a top priority. And then I would just recommend getting whichever ore you need for the upgrades. But let's show you the decorations as well, because as a bit of a collector, I always get these. The 3x3 super deco for this event is the snow globe at 3,100 toy medals, but there is also the clockwork choir for 1,025. Quickly going over the Electro boots before we cover the limited edition troops and the spell. This is an epic piece of equipment for the Royal Champion, which means it can be upgraded to level 27. Think about the aura damage of the Electro Titan. This does exactly the same thing, copy and pasted across to the Royal Champion, but it does deal more damage. Whilst this does not really matter when it comes to skeleton traps that pop up, they will be instantly fried. It will be interesting to see whether this can be combined quite well with the Seeking Shield to one-shot defenses better. But moreover, the hero boosts provide self-healing per second. This is the only piece of equipment for the Royal Champion that does this. So for every second your Royal Champion is on the battlefield, she is regaining 60 hit points. It does not sound like much, but you never know when that is the difference maker on keeping your Royal Champion alive when you just about get that invisibility spell in or not. With the additional 700 hit points of this equipment as well, this gives the Royal Champion an overall health of 4,868. This could be increased with other pieces of equipment, but essentially this means that you could fully recover your Royal Champion's hit points in 81 seconds. You may not be likely to have the Royal Champion on the battlefield for that length of time, unless you deploy her first alongside the spear to take out defenses, but that is an extreme example so you can see how the self-healing would work. Moving to the limited edition troops though. First you unlock the Cookie, which is my favorite troop for this event. Works exactly the same as last year. It is very similar to a Valkyrie, especially mechanic-wise how it operates with the whirlwind attack. It has the exact same hit points at max level, but the damage per second is over 43 times that of a Valkyrie. The Cookie troop can still one-shot the town hall. It is 10 housing space, so a little bit more than a Valkyrie, but for that increase in damage, it is well worth it. Last year, using the cookies alongside the Root Riders was a phenomenal strategy. I will not be doing that myself this year at Town Hall 17. The nerfs to the Root Riders just mean that it's not as powerful. I am sure it will work at some of the lower Town Hall levels, but at Town Hall 17, I will use the cookie rather than a baby dragon to funnel. That is because it has more hit points than the baby dragon, and as we've established, it one-shots any building, so you can easily funnel the outside of the base without worrying about a Seeking Air Mine, so it's fantastic for your ground attacks. Next up, we have the return of the Ice Wizard. This offers a different variant to the regular wizard, and it really depends on what you are using the troop for. The Ice Wizard has more hit points than the regular wizard, but deals slightly less damage. This is to counteract the fact that their favorite target are defenses, and in attacking those defenses, they will also be slowing them down, therefore protecting the Ice Wizards and the rest of your army. So for situations where you would be using a wizard to deal damage, for example, behind a tank, if you have a golem out in front with a couple of wizards behind, the Ice Wizard would be a better option for you. If you are trying to funnel an area of the base, well then the Ice Wizards only target defenses, so should there be non-defensive buildings in that area, you might need to take a regular wizard. This is exactly the same if you are using the wizard as a cleanup troop, because clearly the Ice Wizard would not clean up those non-defensive buildings, and the movement speed is also slower than the regular wizard. And obviously in terms of cleanup, the faster you can be, the better. So if you are wanting to use this as a damage troop, the Ice Wizard is better. As a funneling or cleanup troop, the regular wizard is the way to go. The Ram Rider, again, works the same as last year. It is defense targeting and will rush to the closest defense, breaking any walls en route, and when it gets there, it will initially freeze the defense as well. After this, it turns into a long-ranged hog rider, operating exactly the same, jumping over walls, being defense targeting, but it can fire from that little bit more range, meaning that you could catch these with an invisibility spell a little bit easier as well. At 12 housing space, it is significantly more than a hog rider, but it has way more benefits. On top of what I just mentioned in freezing the defense, breaking the walls en route, it has far more hit points and damage per second. To give you an idea, the hit points are comparable to that of a giant, and the damage per second is comparable to that of a wizard. Remember, the level of the limited edition troops or spell is based on your Town Hall level, so they begin at level 1 for Town Hall 6 players and scale all of the way up every Town Hall to level 12 for Town Hall 17 players. Also, you are unable to donate any of these inside the clan castle. When it comes to the use of the Ram Rider, I do like to use it as a wall breaker. It is only slightly more housing space than a super wall breaker, but it doesn't have the same pathing. Should there be open wall compartments, it can just break right on through because it goes to the closest defense. So they're a little bit more predictable, whether this be diving your king into a compartment or also alongside a queen charge. Whilst you could use them in a mass attack after any opener, whether that be a blizzard or a queen charge, I personally like the cookie troops a little bit better, and I do think they are easier to use. Lastly, the Santa Surprise spell. Way better than it ever was. We've had the Santa Surprise spell for a number of years now, but it's always been quite unpredictable as to where the presents land and deal the damage. This time, it is way more concentrated. If you tap an air defense, you will one-shot that air defense because the total damage at max level is 1,950. Exactly the same as a maxed level air defense. Normally, you need 3 lightning spells to take down an air defense, and a lightning spell is only 1 housing space, so that is 3 spell capacity. However, the Santa Surprise spell is only 2 spell capacity. This means alongside the giant arrow, you could wipe out all of the air defense easily, meaning you have more spells for your air attacks. So we have ground-based troops and a spell that is definitely more helpful for air attacks. In terms of strategy, I do think at lower Town Hall levels, the Root Rider and Cookie Troop will be effective, but at Town Hall 17, it is all about the dragon meta, so this is how I will be implementing the Santa Surprise spell to an army. Typically, you always want to try and get at least 1 air sweeper with your giant arrow. You are flexible though because you have 2 Santa Surprise spells which you're probably going to use to take down other air defense. So let's use the giant arrow. I'm going to try and purposely miss because I could actually get 2 air defense and 2 sweepers here. So I'm going to try and just get 1 sweeper alongside 1 air defense. There we go. Now let's use the king. I like to use a Yeti blimp in order to set up pathing on the opposite side of where my king and queen was. So let's rage that, and that can set up funneling there. Then we can basically send the dragons down the bottom towards this air defense with the Grand Warden, and we can use the Santa Surprise spell to the other air defenses in order to make sure we take those out. You also want to use the Minion Prince to the side of the dragons so that you can funnel them into the center of the base. You also want to use your Warden ability through this area, look, where the poison is from the Town Hall. Let's rage alongside those. Keeping that Minion Prince ability, as soon as he faces up over, then I'll use the ability. There is our Minion Prince ability going off. We can freeze those scattershot again. We can use the skeleton spell on the back end to distract. As long as you prioritize the sweepers and air defense, which you've got the giant arrow, you've got the Yeti blimp, you've got the Santa Surprise spells, then use your rage and freeze to get through the high splash damage areas, your dragons will cruise through the base. But let me know how you plan to use the event troops, and YouTube has a recommended video of mine for you on the screen, which I'm sure you will like. Enjoy the rest of your day.